Let's try this again. Nope. No, that didn't work either. It just keeps closing my screen.
Have you screen shared in Discord before?
I have in other places.
Maybe try. We'll see if anyone else has any ideas, but maybe just try quitting Discord and joining again.
Yep, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that right now.
Cool. I'll try and install for you.
Is it potentially a permissions thing?
It's a good question. It possibly, but it's interesting that it's letting him start the screen share for a second and then stopping it. I'm seeing if is anyone. Let's see. Oh, looks like it's working now. Cool. Nice. We got the full screen too. Looks great.
Yeah. I guess that's all I needed. I need to kick it. Well, we'll just let some more people filter in, and then we'll get started.
While we wait, is the PO app working for anybody? I'm getting event is no longer active when I scan it.
Really?
No, the PO app. That's why I'm here.
It's working for me. What's going on here? Started. Oh, because the end date changed to 3:30 a.m. That's ridiculous. All right. Give that a couple minutes. I gave it a kick, and hopefully that will work. I don't know how that happened, but it's just what it is.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, that works now.
Yes. I was messing with the settings, and I guess I misclicked or something. All right. Well, we got a bunch of people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What is up, everybody? My name is Pete. Go by PeteCoin in our Discord, and I am on the currently centralized growth and marketing team here at Shapeshift, and making the transition to the DAO just like the rest of y'all. So I wanted to start the Workstream today, kick it off, and I think that more than some other work streams, this is going to be a very community heavy and very involved workstream for everybody in the DAO. So I wanted to get it started as soon as possible, and wanted to open it up to the community as soon as possible. We're definitely stronger together. So let's get started. Agenda will be pretty quick. I'm just going to introduce myself, go over some KPIs, sort of take you through what a campaign or promotion kickoff process will look like, take care of roles and how work will get done, next steps, and the open Q&A. Full disclosure, I'm a little nervous when I present, so I'd really appreciate if y'all could help me out. Let me just sort of be on my soapbox for the first 5, and then let's all do the open Q&A and let that be the huge forum at the end, because I think that that's really where we want to spend most of our time anyway. All right, so my name and Discord handle is PeteCoin. My favorite crypto is ETH. Love ETH. And really all of you are a part of the marketing and growth workstream. I think that the accessibility for this work stream is one of the highest, if not the highest here. And everybody's got something to contribute. And we've already seen some of the power of the DAO already. And so I'd like you all to sort of consider yourselves as part of this work stream de facto. You're already here. And so let's DAO it. So our mission, as in my current best thinking right now, is to attract, activate, and retain users and creators to the Shapeshift DAO and the associated product offerings. And I think that's really important. It's not just attracting people here to the DAO to help us grow what we all believe in, help us possibly change the world, but also that, Shapeshift and its associated product line is large, and it covers a lot of what someone who is in the crypto space may want. You can check prices with CoinCap. You can even swap on the CoinCap DEX. You can swap with Shapeshift. We have a mobile app. We have Portis, another mobile wallet that also is specializing in NFTs, among many other things. Keep Key hardware wallet. The list just kind of goes on. So getting people in to help create this DAO, create these products, and then to use them is the mission of marketing and growth. Goals. These are my current best thinking now, but there will be plenty more later on. But at first, we want to propose and execute marketing campaigns that support product launches, partnership agreements, and integrations. We are going to, I believe, my current best thinking is grow faster through network effect than almost anything else. And the more that we integrate, the more that Shapeshift becomes the absolute best way to interact with the Web3 universe, the better we're all going to be. We want to activate new Shapeshift users by introducing them to the full product suite. That's sort of what I was saying before. We want to represent the Shapeshift DAO publicly, attracting users and talents in order to increase operational capacity. We want to retain current Shapeshift users with promotions, giveaways, value adds, etc. And the list will go on. And then make sure that all DAO official communication retains brand integrity, voice, authority, and generally just keeps working for us. Metrics is, at least this is sort of what we've been working with a lot on our centralized growth team, and I think at bare minimum should continue moving it forward, is increase in MAU across all the products, penetration of new DeFi projects, markets, and regions, increasing community size and engagement. The KPIs for every campaign effort are tracked and reported back to the community, so everybody knows what's going on. And ultimately, an increase in AIO and asset total locked value. AIO stands for assets in orbit. The more that we are a force to be reckoned with as a DAO and as a product source, the more our network effects are multiplied and compounded. The more people want to integrate with us, the more that Shapeshift will be integrated with the greater DeFi Web3 world. The better that we get at this, the more opportunities we will have as a group, as individuals, and as a company, well, as a DAO. And so these slides will be given to everybody after the fact, but generally speaking, when we do a major kickoff, a campaign kickoff, we will want to submit that kickoff to the workstream as sort of putting forth your best thinking, getting feedback on the forums, and then ultimately executing. And at bare minimum, and there's an example template that is linked there when you guys get these slides, you want to have goals, what your offer and incentive is, what benefits it has for marketing and the greater ecosystem as a whole, what project needs and tasks need to be accomplished before we launch, and what KPIs we're going to track. The more definition we have on the front end, the easier things become on the back end, and the more confidence we're going to be able to inspire in our users moving forward. And this really is the process for major campaigns asking for significant funding. For many efforts, we're just going to DAO it with a bounty. We actually saw that happen this morning. We wanted to be on a particular website. We put out a bounty, and within an hour and a half, we had 2 major decision makers brought into the Discord. They are now in the partnership channels. Willie's already reached out to them. And so if there's any more proof that you need that we can basically DAO it to success, look no further. Also, big shout out to Gray Machine. I mean, the Discord icon, some of the reaction icons, the learning videos. I think that a lot of what we can do is going to be done through bounty efforts, and that opens up the resources of the marketing and growth workstream ultimately to everybody. Everybody can work together. Everybody can build a better Shapeshift, and in doing so, everybody can be rewarded for their efforts. I'd like to think that this work stream, more than anything else, is to empower all of us to work together to build something, as opposed to something like the product work stream, which is highly necessary, but also requires very specific sets of skills and very necessary processes and ways of doing things to ensure a high quality product that's stable, protects our users' data, everything like that. Marketing and growth, we are allowed to be more agile. We can move more quickly, and ultimately we can all join this work stream in one way or another and contribute. And that's, I think, the ethos of what I'd like to create in this work stream, is that everybody can get involved and everybody should be rewarded for their involvement. Took a slide from the product kickoff call just to give you guys an overview of sort of how the DAO at large works and where the marketing and growth work stream sits. I think that the part that I like to call out is sort of the bottom here, where the individual contributors and squads. I think the marketing and growth work stream is going to be exceptionally well suited for people who want to join in that capacity, want to be an individual contributor. Huge shout out to LPX for getting the decision makers into the partner DAO this morning, as well as Logitech and a couple of other people who tweeted and found their discords. You're individual contributors and you are all rewarded for your efforts. And I think that is really what the marketing growth workstream is going to be able to empower more than anything else. However, there are efforts that the centralized team have been doing that show significant benefit to the company. There are things that we are doing right now to activate and retain users, to get them across different product lines. And there are external marketing efforts that we have done consistently for months that we have gathered data on that show tangible results for the DAO and the centralized company prior to it. And so I'm proposing to start with a small full-time role workstream that is going to be able to, at least at bare minimum, continue what we know is working exceptionally well for the centralized company and now the DAO more importantly. And then that way we can bountify the rest and everybody can be involved. The full-time roles are for workstream leader. I'm applying, but it's open for anybody to apply. And I think that, the way that the DAO will work best is if the best talent's in the best place. So everybody should apply for what they feel they're great for. Growth and analytics manager. This person I see helping the workstream leader immensely. A part of what we do very well is playing sort of inside baseball with programmatic advertising. And by that, I mean sort of ad buying on crypto networks like buy, sell ads, ads, mellow ads, so on and so forth. And someone being able to step in and help manage those things, as well as step into our Pendo stack and be able to track everything that we're doing so that we can report back to the DAO. It's going to be an exceptionally important role. And we want someone that would be like dedicated to helping that grow and being that person. The social media marketing manager and email marketing manager, we want those. I at least my current best thinking, my vision is that those two people would flex also as copywriters. Our current efforts there show results, and everybody knows that crypto is on Twitter and on Reddit and in other places, and we're going to want someone that can be there and engaging across those platforms. And we want them to be strong writers. We want them to be able to effectively communicate our vision of a borderless financial system, self-custody, self-sovereignty. And I think that that's a compelling brand message. And we're going to want someone to step into both of those roles, both with the email marketing side, both external and more importantly, internal, keeping our community engaged and up to date on new products and new features that are coming out and encouraging them to try it, as well as externally to attract new users. And so, we'd like to fill these so that we can continue the current operations, preferably uninterrupted, and we can just continue moving forward and then really work towards, the other roles, which could be bounties, which could end up being part-time or even full-time in the future. But all of these, and again, this is all just my current best thinking and my vision is based around network effects. So someone who's sort of like, a DeFi degen, really deep into the ecosystem, allowing us to be, first to projects, getting them to integrate with us. A concrete example would be find an early project, get them to integrate, keep key hardware wallet support. We can then the marketing growth workstream can then co-market with them and have discounted keep keys, so on and so forth. Traders, investors, there's a lot of projects out there, and part of what we want to do is support those projects. Me personally as an individual, and I think a lot of people do just sort of across the community. Someone who is tapped into that and able to speak to that intelligently could be a valuable resource. More growth marketing initiatives, programmatic advertising if it grows and needs that kind of work. Video graphic design, affiliate, external community creation. Definitely big shout out to Hunt and Giantkin for stepping up in our own Discord, but there's opportunities outside and a lot more. And currently, I see a lot of this being bountified. I see a lot of this being just available for people who want to go out and go get it. and are willing to, stand up and put themselves in the position where, they're talking to people in Discord. They are putting their thoughts in general. They are saying like, hey, I want to go reach out to this partner for X reason, getting feedback from the community at large, and then going on and executing. People like that should be rewarded. That is exactly what the DAO is all about, because we are the DAO, every single one of us. Payments, similar to the product workstream, denominated in USD, paid in Fox, 1st and 15th of each month, and every payment earns reputation on Colony. And then just again, a reminder for people who are not exactly comfortable or not willing to just get paid in crypto and would like either fiat or a W-2 or a combination of both, check out Opolis. I think they are a fantastic solution for what we're looking for. And, I'm not giving financial advice, but definitely check it out, because I have, and I think it looks pretty good. So for next steps, I've got a couple spreadsheets ready. So DM me if you're interested in contributing, along with the desired capacity and role. And I'll put these slides live so you can look at it. But the biggest thing, my ask really for everybody here is, I'm going to put my current best thinking and sort of my general proposal and my current proposals, as well as a funding proposal, in the forum within the next 24 to 48 hours. I'm just polishing it up. I really need feedback on all of that. I think that more than any other work stream, this work stream will not only need, but will highly benefit from more minds doing more thinking. So definitely get in there and ask questions and ask tough questions, and let's work this stuff out and move forward. And then obviously the proposal to fund the work stream, we're going to schedule a bi-weekly public growth meeting. Everybody can be in there, questions, comments, and just overall ideas. And just if you want to just learn, it should all be in that meeting and should be available to everybody. And then we DAO it from there. I mean, we're all figuring it out. I like how Willie says it. We're all figuring it out as we go. And I think we're all committed and moving in the same direction, all rowing in the same direction. And the more that we do that, the better we are. And claim your POAP, man. It's cheers to our design team for making this happen. I think it looks super cool. I don't know why it's not actually doing anything, but it was supposed to be animated. And then let's open it up for questions and open discussions. I think that this should take up most of our time. So unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and let's chat.
Hello. I got a question. So, could you name all the roles that you've offered?
Yes. Here you go.
Yeah. So, like, when we private message you what type of role you want, could you give like a small, brief description of every role?
Sure. Yeah, I could do it in private message. I could do it right now. Workstream leader will be leading the workstream, responsible for pushing proposals through, making sure that we're reporting back to the community, generally doing things the right way, and finding people to join the team and bountifying things that we need bountified. Growth and analytics manager is going to be sort of the right hand and moving things forward, both on the programmatic advertising side, as well as the actual data tracking that we can report back to the DAO that the marketing and growth workstream is doing things, and these are the results. We can't manage what we don't measure, so that role is going to be very key. And then the social media manager and email marketing manager and copywriter are people that are going to be stepping into roles that used to be held by centralized foxes that need to continue the current efforts that are going on because they are effective, and then iterate on that role. So that person needs to come in and be creative and find new ways to push those roles forward, as well as maintain what was being done in the past. And then aside from those, initial, we're going to keep the team lean and hungry to start. And if we need to expand, we will. But I really do believe that at first, and hopefully for a while, we can bountify everything. And that just gives more opportunity to the community. Everybody can get involved. Everybody can be compensated for their efforts, and everybody can contribute towards building. And that's my current best thinking.
Thank you for heading this meeting. This is Hunt. So I'm the current CMod for the Shapeshift DAO. Hold on, let me get rid of this echo. So I'm currently the Shapeshift DAO mod, CMod. I'm gonna post some links in general chat for everybody to take a look at the process that I went through to contribute. Personally, my goal since the start has been to create like a foundation for the DAO to grow on in regards to the community and what it's capable of doing growth-wise. So I've worked closely with a number of the proposed workstream leaders, cross collaboration, working on my own projects for marketing, stuff like that. So I just want to emphasize, like Pete was saying, in my best thinking, there's a number of opportunities for the community to contribute to this work stream, not only to this work stream, but the community work stream, or the arguably the special project or the community CMod work stream. So if anybody has like ideas, I've been getting DMs for the last week straight regarding specific ideas that various community members have. If you want to bring those up at this meeting, this is the time. I know a lot of people have marketing related ideas that they've been presenting me. I haven't had a lot of time to vet them all, try to incubate. But I believe that like the CMod community support system and the foundation that I'm trying to build in terms of supporting the community and vetting ideas and giving people the connections and the tools they need to actually contribute. I think it's a really important thing. And just, reiterating what Pete was saying, cross collaboration is super important, especially when we're this early on. We don't have a solid foundation. Everybody's really just doing their best thinking. So there's not one individual, I don't think, and Willie could probably step in and say it's not him either. I don't think there's any individual that can tell you what's right and wrong. It's really up to you guys. And it's really up to you how you want to contribute and how you want to try to propose that you contribute. But the floor is open. That's what I got.
I'll just add a big +1 to that. I agree with everything you said, Hunt, and everything you presented today, Peatcoin, and awesome way to kick off the marketing work stream. Great presentation, and really looking forward to seeing the community work together to grow the ecosystem.
Yeah, thanks, and same Hunt. Thanks a lot. It's super important that this work stream be as wide as possible. The more ideas that we have, the more brains that we have thinking, the better, right? And of course, there's guardrails. We want to protect the Shapeshift brand. This is an extremely established, really respected brand. We want to stay clear to our vision and mission. But aside from those things, if it's in the best interest of the DAO, and you can articulate that idea, and you're willing to have that idea debated, and you build a consensus, in my vision, the marketing growth work stream is there for you to do that work and be rewarded for it more than some other work streams, which are equally, if not more important, but required much more highly specialized skills or much more rigid processes just by necessity. Whereas we are allowed to be more agile and flexible.
Descriptions for these, like anything that's platform specific, like your email marketing, like do you have platforms that you depend on that you want people coming on board that it's critical that they know, or you just want to leave it generic, like that just an email marketing manager, doesn't matter what their experience is or
So
what
that's
I was wondering the same thing too, because I don't know how like an email marketing manager could be a full-time job, really. I feel like it could be kind of mixed in with.
There's a lot that they're, like user journeys and whatnot, like when somebody's onboarded and or not, like a customer's onboarded and guiding through that. But there's so many email platforms out there. I wonder if you want to specify like what you're looking for, or somebody is, Constant Contact or MailChimp or whatever.
Right. No, great questions, both Gray Machine and LPX. So I'll start with LPX's question. I think that Gray Machine nailed it on the head. It's more than just sending emails. I think the thing that I focus on is that our product line is very wide. Hardware wallets, software wallets with an NFT bend, apps, our platform, dexes both through the platform, the app, and our price checking site, right? And building user flows and journeys through those things, and identifying audience cohorts based on user behavior and pushing them through to places where we feel that the Shapeshift product adds value and isn't just intrusive and spammy. That takes a lot of strategic thinking, and ultimately, if you've been in these systems, a lot of work and a lot of testing. Specifically to Gray Machine's question, right now we are still defining certain parts of the tech stack. I can tell you that we are using Autopilot currently, but it's not yet fully decided if we're going to stay with Autopilot or move to something else. It's a question that needs to be collaborated on a little more, and has cost components and where those will live and everything like that. For social, Sprout Social is definitely where we're going to be doing most of our work. Super affordable, really flexible, great listening features, and pretty powerful. But open to changing things up if we get a super qualified candidate that is really competent in another system that can show why that this is a better option than what we currently have. That's super wide open.
I don't think we should worry too much about getting the positions exactly right, because we're at the very experimental stage of the DAO, right? I think what's most important is just that we get something going, and then we sort of modify it as we go. So they may well be right, whether some of these positions should be full-time or part-time. But I just think it's a little too early to focus on getting it exactly right, because the DAO itself is so new, right? We don't have a solid foundation.
The only reason I ask about email is that it's tricky to mass migrate large groups of email lists from one place to another. So once you kind of commit, you're a little bit committed, but yeah, I agree. Like, getting caught up in technology is it's more about expertise, but email deployments get a little stickier than that sometimes.
Okay, fair enough. I just think it's important to focus that we're in that big picture moment where the most important thing is to just get these work streams running, and once we've done that, we're fine as we go.
Yeah, functionality at the end of the day is the goal here. Because Pete keeps referring to his best thinking, and all of this really is everybody's collaborative best thinking. One question I did have for you, Pete, to address as things move forward is allocation of funds for marketing. For projects that may not have marketing expertise, but they want a marketing component tacked on to their project or idea. How do you think that should be handled? I don't know if you have some input, Willie.
Currently, my thought is that my current plan is to propose in the marketing budget that I want people to talk about on the forum and ultimately vote on, is that the marketing growth workstream has a bounty budget, an allotment of Fox that are 4 bounties, and bounties can be either decided on by the marketing growth workstream or, Hunt, to your point, if the communication or the community workstream that you and Giant can have created have an idea and you need some funding, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to approach the marketing and growth workstream and ask for some of those funds, right? And then the marketing workstream can not only help fund that, but it can also help with tracking that, right? So that it's all integrated in one place, and that when the workstream then reports back to the DAO at large, we are taking into account all of the efforts across many different things. But maybe that's too centralized, and maybe there's a better solution that's more decentralized. I appreciate you mentioning, and I steal this from my boss. Current best thinking. It really is just that. Maybe a more decentralized process ends up being more efficient. But that's currently what I'm thinking based on your question.
All right. So my thinking here with the CMOD situation, it's a vital. There's a vital functionality that people on the front end might not see now. There's back end activity that's definitely vital. But if I were to propose a budget, say like a marketing related budget or growth related budget that's outside of day-to-day activities that I'm doing as a CMOD, I would probably try to post a proposal and include a budget and let you control it rather than me dishing it out. But that was just my best thinking said on how to handle fund allocation. If I were to have a defined proposal and a new budget, kind of like the maker people we're talking about, get that first idea and foundation in the door and the proposal in the door, and then add a budget onto it if you find the need for it. And that's kind of the route I'm taking, especially with their reference to their issue with even establishing a marketing team. I think the worst thing that we could do is do something like that where we hinder our ability to create a foundation that we need to create.
Totally agree. And something else to consider is, you and Giantkin are leading the current community work stream. You could propose to the DAO for funding, and then execute what you proposed and what you were asking for that funding for. And so, not brushing it off. If you want to go through the marketing growth work stream and things like that, totally. I would love to support any sort of community building or community outreach or any sort of community marketing effort. But to that point of not wanting to get caught up in the minutia and, as Iro said, get going and start iterating. There's nothing that stops you from just making a proposal to the DAO for funding yourself and, following through on your own vision. That's what at least to the best of my knowledge, that's what the process is really all about. So happy to help. I'm at your service for sure. But also, no reason to wait.
Right. And my thinking on that is too, like if somebody is really serious about a project and they also seriously know that they have no idea what they're doing, marketing or advertising or anything about a marketing budget, or any of the technicals that come along with a marketing campaign, it'd probably be best if they have the option to just throw it at you guys and let you guys evaluate it and give them a consultation on like the ability to actually get what they want done. Because marketing, some people take marketing for granted, the time that it takes and the analysis that it takes and the education it takes and the skills that it takes to actually successfully complete a marketing campaign. So it'd probably be best if like there was some sort of consultation involved in the process, if like a significant budget were to be proposed. That's just my opinion.
I love to hear it. I guess to put a bow on what you're saying, I believe that the marketing growth workstream should make themselves available for people who feel that way, and we will have, at least I'm going to propose a bounties budget that could cover things exactly like this. And it's more than just a place to get budget, but to all the things that you were describing. We can help track things for you, help you iterate, help you form, basically be more strategic. And if we get with copywriters that hopefully the workstream brings on board, as well as our super duper talented PR person who will remain active as well. There's a lot of help that the marketing growth workstream can provide to anybody who wants to go that route. I also just love the idea of more decentralization, more good heads, and more speed. And so if someone feels that they've got a great handle on it, there is, at least to the best of my knowledge, and if I'm wrong, Willie, just tell me that what I'm saying is wrong. But there's no reason why someone can't propose something and work with it. But I definitely would want this workstream to make their resources, their knowledge, and their collaboration available to anybody who would want to reach out.
So I have a question about incentives.
Sorry.
Is there currently an incentive for people to bring others into the Shapeshift ecosystem? So for example, my dad's considering buying Ethereum, and I'm planning on introducing into the Shapeshift platform. Is there currently some sort of affiliate program in the works to encourage people to do that? Because to me, perhaps the biggest challenge is bringing people into crypto at all, not necessarily converting other people from crypto to Shapeshift.
Fact.
That's an interesting viewpoint. I think that there is opportunity to create things like that. There was some chat just this morning in the DAO about sort of an affiliate bot. and moving that forward. There's also some existing programs that are there. So there's great incentive to bring people into the platform just due to, the rainfall feature, where anybody who comes in and there's a constant basically airdrop going on at all times within the app. Furthermore, in the app itself, you invite friends. If they use your referral code, you get 10 Fox tokens. That's already live and currently in a product right now. So there are existing processes, but I think that also that's an excellent opportunity for a proposal, either standalone or work with people in the marketing growth workstream, workshop it a lot, and then you with the support of the marketing growth workstream proposes it to the DAO at large. So I guess that's my best answer for that. There are already some incentives with Project Rainfall and the referrals, but also I don't see any the voters are the vote. The voters run the DAO. So if that's the direction the DAO wants to go, that's the direction it will go.
Something else your answer made me think of is that perhaps it's best to sort of have this work stream advertised to us, like in the Discord and in the to advertise to Shapeshift members, what can you do to help the DAO grow and what the incentives are? Because that program you mentioned is something I'd never heard of. So it's like, if I haven't heard of it, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I think, it'd be a good idea to create like a new channel, like ASAP, because I always have these like ideas, but I don't really know where to post it, and usually
If you have any recommendations on the forum regarding channel additions or anything, just let me know. Sure.
Yeah, I think. Okay, I'll bring that up later. Right now, it's not that important.
Well, I think you make a good point, LPX, and we are in the process of creating those channels. We just wanted to have the meeting first. There's going to be a public marketing channel that's made available to everybody that everybody can start posting in, and then a more private one for members of the work stream and people who are invited in there because they are working with the work stream ultimately to create something or to market the DAO in some way. And to Iro's comment, yeah, I mean, I definitely encourage you to join our email list. Our current centralized Fox, who's in email, is really, really good about sending out emails about the benefits of what's in our product. But I think that as a learning from that, since there's always a teaching moment, that is going to be a big part of what the marketing growth workstream does. We will be a product-led growth organization. And so the product features should be what attracts people in as they have the highest retention rates. And so, yeah, the more that we, show the value of the Shapeshift product suite and how that matches with specific audience cohorts and what that fit is and the value add, that's how we'll bring really strong customers in, which then hopefully creates the network effect of attracting good creators to create more products, to find more customers, and it's sort of a self-perpetuating growth machine. At least that's my current best thinking.
I got a question. So about the advertising wise, what type of advertising would you be looking for? So you said you're looking for teams, people that can come along to the team, which obviously I understand that, but you're also talking about like people joining the server or just the team?
Both. I'm not quite sure I understand your question. Do you mind clarifying it a bit more, expanding on it?
So like advertising as a rule, inviting people, getting more people towards the team, just finding the right people for certain jobs, right? But like, I don't understand, like I need more understanding on what it does. So do you have to invite certain people that know what they're doing around the business, or newbies that you can teach?
Oh, great question. I really appreciate you asking that. No, not people who are like insiders now, right? At least the way that I see it, this work stream should be one of the most accessible work streams for everybody. And just because you don't feel that you are not a fit for, and I'm not saying this is you, I'm just putting a hypothetical out there. If you don't feel that you're a fit for one of the full-time roles, I fully intend, this work stream to be extremely bounty heavy. I bring up just this morning, and I actually think you were working on it quite a bit, Logitech. We wanted to get listed on a website, and let's leverage the power of the DAO to go and get it. And the marketing growth workstream will be doing that frequently. LPX was doing that as well. There were a bunch of people who stepped up to the plate and found the Discord, the Twitter, the GitHub. I mean, it was amazing. LinkedIn, LPX specifically, bringing someone in into the partner Discord. I think that, there are full-time roles that will be looking for specialized skills and a certain level of talent, and we want the best talent that we can find to grow the DAO in the best way. But ultimately, the more people that are involved, I think the better. You all know people, you're all networked, you all have points of view, you all will understand a part of the crypto community or the part of the crypto ethos that maybe I don't understand right away. And vice versa. I'm going to understand things coming from certain perspectives that you won't. And so the more that we can bountify specific projects and the more that people can get involved, the better. And so hopefully that answers your question, that, we're not only looking for the highly specialized, I would hope that most of the work is community driven and community growing, and that people will make themselves so valuable that they have, we have no choice but to bring them onto the team, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I totally
Yeah,
agree
I'll
with
echo that. That's the reason. Go ahead, LPX.
Yeah, some of you guys may know, but I was in like blockchain crypto marketing for a good number of years. And I still have, a whole bunch of studies and research that we did on what worked and what didn't work and all that stuff. What worked out best for us, like internally as a team, was actually more of a bounty base. Even though we were, a registered company, we weren't a DAO. But once we kind of, we pretty much put everyone's salary to like the base minimum, and then have bonuses on top. And those bonuses could be coming from ideas, outreach, good Telegram management, or, all kinds of stuff. Because especially in crypto, like the marketing, spectrum is so freaking wide that, one person can't really manage, everything. So I 100% back the whole, the bounty, I guess, how would you call it? Bounty based system, whatever.
Yeah, take your time. No big deal. Thanks for your
Pay
thoughts.
per action kind of thing.
Right. So
That's
we
what
would
I mean.
quantify. That might be a little bit harder to do, but yeah, we would have
Yeah,
like
it's really hard to
big
quantify.
list and see who are the most active moderators in a certain chat, who put out the most blog posts, and then when like 50 Ethereum would come in, we would split that within like a weighted spreadsheet. It was like a formula. And also besides that, we also had rewards for like special like one-off projects. For example, right now, you guys know the subreddit cryptocurrency. They rarely do AMAs, but yeah, they want to do like a event or an AMA or of some sort. Like those kind of special, I guess, marketing events that's not really like tied into like a particular uh role,
Yeah, that
So
makes a lot of sense.
My concern, Pete, with like a straight bounty system is like throttling like creativity. I've seen some really great marketing like, campaigns out of people. They just have like a brilliant moment or something like that. They don't relate it to marketing. So like I think having like keeping people's minds open to like whatever possibility they can come up with that's reasonable and the community agrees upon is probably the best way to start it. You know, just that's kind of why I referenced the CMOD proposal for everybody to look at. It's really up to you. If you can provide value to the community, propose your value contribution and see where it goes. You really never know how your idea is going to play out until you try.
Well, about that issue, I think one of the benefits of the DAO structure is we can not only decide to reward people beforehand, which is what a bounty is, we can also reward people after the fact. So I don't think it's necessarily the case that bounties will stifle creativity.
Yeah, I definitely
Right,
agree with
right.
that. And the cool thing about being a DAO is we have all these different tools at our disposal, right? And we can experiment and we can get the best of both worlds, including bounties, and we can try some different things out. I do agree. This is my personal thought on bounties, and as it relates to like stifling innovation. I do think, and again, we can try any of this stuff out and see what works. Personally, prefer the bounties where somebody applies for it, basically, or offers to do it, and then gets selected, as opposed to a bounty where it's like, hey, first person to complete this gets it. Because I do think, especially when it comes to marketing stuff, that can both stifle creativity and just encourage people just to get it done the fastest, which in some cases could be good. So that's why I don't want to just like say I'm totally against this. Definitely open to it, but it can also result in people getting burned out. If you can imagine it's frustrating to like do 30 or 70% of a bounty and then have somebody else beat you to it. Maybe the quality of their work isn't even as good as the stuff that you're working on, but they were the first one to do it, so they get the full bounty.
I hate duplication of work. So definitely think makes the most sense.
I think that type of bounty would be dangerous because it pits people against each other. The last thing we want is a structure where people see each other as enemies, right?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for clarification, when I say bounties, it takes a lot of forms. It could be like this morning where we were like, hey, we just want to be talking to this person, go out and find them, and tracked a bunch of people's efforts on a spreadsheet, and it won't just be a winner claim all kind of situation. But to tack on to what Willie was saying, ideally, that's the flexibility of a bounty system, is in the proposed bounties. Someone with a skill set that knows that they can execute something very well, proposes it, gets feedback from the community, everybody gets to weigh in, and then they go and they execute at a high level. I certainly agree with the voices that we don't want to duplicate effort. We don't want low quality work just to be first to the front. And so I think I was trying to differentiate mostly between there are going to be some roles that we're going to expect full-time commitment from, and to sort of maintain the operation of sort of necessary marketing efforts to keep the product moving forward, to keep activation and retention rates high. But I do see this work stream being one of the most, if not the most successful work stream, for the ability for someone to come to the work stream and say, I think this would grow the DAO. And I think that for these reasons, we should do it. This is what it will take for me to do it. And then, the process of getting that vetted by the community, getting current best thinking, making sure it's worked over, and then ultimately that those efforts are approved and rewarded. I would agree with Willie and ultimately Danielle, that would be the most ideal way of using the bounty budget.
And Pete, I just wanted to add, I think you did a really good job of thinking this through on how we need to transition this 7 years of marketing, energy, effort, email list, all this stuff that we have, and make sure that none of that really gets lost. But not only committing to that and really being able to take ideas and be open to the community and what they have to say. So I just want to say I think your presentation and what you've done so far is really thoughtful to kind of achieve both of those goals. So big support.
Oh, thank you.
Can I ask a question about just the overall workstream structure? And it's a big question, but I'll try to keep it brief.
Yeah,
Can you
definitely.
can you back up to the slide where you have the top level open roles that you're going to be trying to fill?
Yeah.
So your role, are you at the sort of like top level marketing campaign guidance, like vision, like how all of the different products and overall brand are marketed to the community, as well as sort of functioning as sort of the nuts and bolts product marketing manager for Portis, Key, Shapeshift? Like, I guess what I'm getting at is like, if you're at sort of like this top like 35,000 foot view of overall marketing outlook, as well as uh, across all these different products as well, do you feel like you've got enough coverage with what you're proposing right here, right now? Um, do you feel like you're going to be spreading yourself a little bit thin, or is this just sort of like getting the Workstream launched, and then you have plans beyond this to maybe have more product marketing managers in individual products or whatever? I guess I just not worry. I mean, I guess I'm worried about you specifically, but in terms of the overall success of this, it feels pretty light in terms of you've got all these products, you've got a major brand as well as individual brands.
Sorry, just to be clear, it's not all the products. Portis is spinning off on its own. CoinCap is going off on its own. So
Okay. So this work stream is really just marketing, I guess, just the DAO itself. Like, you're driving people to the Shapeshift app, or this isn't even the Shapeshift app?
This is the DAO, the Shapeshift app, the Shapeshift product, and we will touch into those other companies as well, just as they meet product fit. I appreciate the question. So I think to answer your question is that every in my vision, every one of these roles has ownership in the way that you described, right? That if we're asking for a commitment of a full-time level from somebody, we're going to train them. We want them to be highly skilled in their position, and we want to be able to work collaboratively and not just have one centralized person making the marketing decisions. I think it should be a collaborative effort. I also think that more than some other work streams, we want to be extremely public facing. An example from this morning, we wanted to get on the DAO website, and we had some people who were reaching out on social, some people who were already connected on LinkedIn. And I think that those tactics will make themselves more readily available the more that we open ourselves up to criticism and ultimately collaboration and sort of having those tough conversations. In terms of worrying about me and spreading thin, I do appreciate that. But I think that you kind of touched on sort of what the general idea here is that this is a sort of minimum viable product to, at bare minimum, keep what has been provably working in the data that I now can make public and will make public in the forum posts and things, to keep that momentum moving in the right direction. But as needs arise, it would be my job to propose to the work stream that we add a product marketing manager for a specific product. Or if we find that there's someone who wants to step into that role and they propose a project that can be paid out of the bounty budget of the marketing growth work stream, they can be rewarded for doing so. I think that at least in my current best thinking, I would rather stay on the side of being as wide as possible and including as many people as possible, so that we can leverage the talent of the DAO, which I am making the assumption is very deep. And before we start doing something that's making sort of executive decisions.
Hey Pete, can I chime in real quick as well?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, my name's Nick. I'm the current, I guess, soon-to-be former director of growth marketing at Shapeshift. And Great Machine, to answer your question a little bit more too, I appreciate the concern, but to be kind of a little bit more honest and transparent, the marketing team is not very big at Shapeshift currently running most of those products. We're a very hungry team, and I know Pete's going to do a great job. I've worked with him his full 2 years at Shapeshift so far, and finding hungry people seems to be the key that's worked in our success in the past, not necessarily putting, but just finding really active, talented people. So I think Pete's going to do a great job of leading that effort. And fully support there. But even just these 4 spots would be enough to manage even farther than Shapeshift is now, multiple projects and everything, if you find the right kind of talent. I hope that sheds a little bit of extra clarity on top of how Pete answered as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It was not. Yeah, I think it was thinking
And
across
also,
more
I think
products.
there's some kind of projects that need to be like kept like hush hush, like in house. And then there's other, I guess, marketing objectives and campaigns that are more public facing. So I guess how would that work? Like for like those, you know, campaigns that are not supposed to be public until, trying to make a big announcement, or you have an NDA, or the counterparty hasn't, released it on their side yet. Like you can't really get the whole DAO involved.
So I think I understand your concern. If I don't answer this correctly, interrupt me and clarify. But I really want to give a shout out to the overall strategic team, leadership team at centralized Shapeshift during this transition, because there will be resources available to us on this work stream that are still being retained and have a later, decentralized date than people like me, and they are extremely talented in that regard. Specifically, I'm thinking of our PR. Basically, she's a wizard, and she can handle all of those things like proper embargoes and things like that. So I think that your concern is super valid, but huge shout out to leadership and executive teams in the centralized company that A, made this decision that we could all be involved, but B, at least to me, and just my opinion, it really seems like they thought through those sorts of concerns in their phased process. And so I would need sort of specific examples to speak on. And again, it would only be my current best thinking. But I do think that there will be a framework there that this workstream can leverage so that we could keep those silos if necessary and keep most things public.
Cool.
I'm just going to put this back down to the Pope in case people didn't get it. Any other questions? Comments?
Yeah, we have one. We're trying to get him in.
Yeah. Doesn't look like anybody in the room is being suppressed by the server. Hey, we got you.
Oh, you got me. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Sorry, I was really struggling there. So I had a question for Pete in terms of how you would see this work stream interacting with the other work stream. Like, I'm an engineer, so I've worked at companies similar to Shapeshift where, marketing's all about push the product. But then when there's like a problem and there needs to be a feedback mechanism, that's always a little different, depending on the product and the company and the workflows. And then I also had some feedback on bounties and when it's appropriate to have some experience with that. But yeah, do you have any input there, Pete, on how you see this workflow interacting with the other workflows?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm super excited to watch your YouTube video that you posted later.
Thanks.
I listened to it on my dog walk. But yeah, I think that this work stream is going to have to be extremely well integrated with other work streams. And then specifically to your, I think I understood it to be sort of like crisis comms. Like I said, I think the executive and leadership team at Centralized Shapeshift did a fantastic job. There is a Fox that is staying on longer than the rest of us that is extremely talented in crisis comms. As Toasty was saying before, the current centralized team has tons of experience working through that, and so we will be certainly extremely reactive To that, just take a look at our tweets this morning about fake Portis apps and the risk that it proposes to our consumer. So if that's what you're talking about, I think that it's going to be necessary for heavy collaboration and cooperation. And we definitely have experience in the crisis comms side of things, if that's what you're referring to.
Can I add too? Like the operations work stream definitely has been in talks about doing some meetings with the different work stream leaders, not in addition to like the community calls and kind of continuing on some of the things that we do in the centralized Shapeshift about driving stakeholder alignment and all of that. So I think that kind of goes to your first question, like all the work stream leaders kind of need to figure out what's that perfect balance of working together, keeping everybody in the loop, and exactly what you said, like, is marketing going to be pushing the engineers with a whip, or will it be the other way around kind of thing?
Did I hear you
not
say
pushing
something
anybody.
about like Chris? Did I hear you say something about a bounty or like compensation if you're working between work streams?
Yeah, so I founded the Permissionless Software Foundation, which is a very small DAO of developers, and we've been in active operation for over a year. And so we've explored this this nuance here of like when bounties are appropriate, when they're not appropriate. And based on our experience, what we found is bounties are appropriate when there is a clearly defined scope. And like you already know what you want, and you just need someone to do it. And you can define the work like there's a very clear beginning point and a very clear ending point. And that's the situation that's the only situation really in which bounties are appropriate. When there's and they complement other work, which is what someone else was saying is using the DAO structure to actually compensate people after the fact. That's also very important when someone just like takes initiative and does the work. We still haven't found a really good mechanism for doing that.
So I think I could paint a picture because I've been thinking about this for the last like couple days and thinking about like a budget for CMOD activities. There's a couple projects that have it like a whiteboard, but not really like fully thought out yet. Like if I were to propose like a marketing budget, I would allocate it to Pete to his control so he can distribute it to me as I need it for whatever tasks that I may be doing that need like some sort of compensation. On top of that, I'm gonna like tack on like a bonus or compensation for him to like deem necessary when necessary kind of. So I'll tack on like a budget for compensation for those working on the project. I'll put a budget together and then I'll make that proposal for the addition to the CMOD proposal. So it'll be like budget number 1 when I post the proposal or I post a draft for the proposal. So I'm just going to do it like that. And for every different budgeting situation where I need like approval from the DAO or I need funding from the DAO or whatever the case may be, I'm just going to tack on proposal for CMOD budget number 2. And that's how I was thinking I was going to approach it because I'm not sure. I can't expect people to work on a project as much as I do out of like just being about it. So there has to be some sort of compensation mechanism for people to take over the project from me or might contribute to the project themselves.
Yeah. I think where you're going to run into difficulty there is, and this is the problem we ran into with bounties in general, was that someone has to basically validate that the bounty was done appropriately, and so that's why like we don't do free for all bounties. Like we basically vet. We don't just let anybody work on our bounties. We vet them. We usually have a relationship with them because if we didn't do that, what we saw when we were trying to do it more freeform was that it would actually create more work for whoever needed to actually validate that the bounty was fulfilled according to the specification. And so my recommendation there would be that as you move forward, like think about the entire feedback loop and how you evaluate like when a bounty's done or when someone has fulfilled what they need to do. There's that management component that's not very easy to scale or I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, but outsource. That's the word I'm thinking of. It's hard to outsource that management component.
Right, and I think, and I hope that Pete will touch to it, but I hope that's like the main job of workstream leaders, and I think Willie was touching on that too. Like workstream leaders are doing a good job if people get paid, sort of thing. So that's, I guess I'll stop now and let other people talk.
Yeah, to go on what Hunt was saying, that's definitely the responsibility of the workstream leader. I think to what you're talking about, Trout, I'd really, if you don't mind elaborating more, like it seems like you've gone through this process. So my question is two-part. I think that I'm using the word bounty as sort of a substitute because I didn't feel like the word like slush fund or anything like that made any sense and didn't sound great. But I definitely feel much more connection to what you're describing in that, I would prefer that far more of the work be done with a thought out proposal. This is the benefit to the DAO. Because not only does that allow for the easier management of it, but I think arguably just as important or more importantly, it gives members of the community opportunity to chime in like, hey, did you think about this? Have you thought about that? Since you have experience in this, when you brought this down to bedrock, where did you end up with, a more refined system? How did you guys do it over at PSF?
Oh, well, we're definitely still learning and growing and refining. One of the things that one of the things that we've struggled with is that people love to contribute and love to come up with these ideas. And one of the things that we've had to be very careful with in order to preserve the value of our token is to really focus on results, on like if we fund this bounty or this proposal, how is that going to increase the value of the token? That's the question that I always find myself asking, because it's a really fun to engage in these ideas and these proposals and build cool things. But if they're not actually increasing the value of the token, then they're decreasing the value of the token. And so that's the thing that I think we're really struggling with is finding not just a good workflow, but also being careful to achieve good outcomes.
I kind of want to add to that. To be honest, I checked out, the beta Shapeshift and all your apps, and I'll be completely honest. I wasn't really too impressed. Well, mostly because of the freaking gas fees right now, but I feel like there needs to be, I guess, more products, I guess, in order for more onboarding of actual community members. But I totally agree that exposure means nothing if in the end they'll just take the tokens and just run off and sell it, But at the moment, I don't really see. I don't know. Is it just me or anyone else feel the same way? I'm just trying to be honest.
Well, I also just recently played with the Shapeshift app for the first time to buy some Fox tokens so I could vote on some proposals. And I have an Android. It was a little slow, and yeah, the gas fees are definitely. I'm coming from the Bitcoin Cash world where transaction fees are less than a penny, so that it's just been rather shocking to me. That has nothing to do with the Shapeshift app, but yeah, I mean, there's room for improvement. That's why I'm excited about participating. Is to I love the philosophy and the focus of Shapeshift. It's very much in line with what I want to work on. So, I mean, yeah, I'm excited that there's room for improvement.
Totally. I appreciate the candid feedback, and yeah, admittedly, I think there's a lot of room for improvement in our mobile app as well as our web app. I will say I'm also really excited that now, if you guys or if anybody has an idea for how we can make the apps better, let's propose it and let's see how much it'll cost and let's fund it and get it built. And we should be able to build much faster in this new open source world. Also, I think the Shapeshift app, it's tough doing things in a multi-chain way. We it's really we've solved really difficult challenges, and it's hard. It's not easy to make those a great experience. I think we've done well, but I definitely agree that there's a lot of room for improvement. But we started building this new version, back in 2018, and just the industry has evolved a lot since then. The products have evolved a lot since then, and so now we're building things in a new way. And the engineering team's getting ready to release this new open source version of the web app, and it's basically taking all of these years of learning and using that to rebuild things in a way that's not only architected really well, but so that it's